A very good morning once again from the sports desk. The 44th Cape Town Cycle Tour concluded a short while ago with Kimberly the Court de Billot, of course, winning that women's race ahead of Hayley Preen and Candice Lill. Meanwhile, Marc Pritzen claimed the men's race. The event is back to its traditional date on the cycling calendar after the 2021 race was disturbed by COVID-19 and then put down in October. For more on this, we're joined once again by our reporter, Justin Ford. A very good morning to you again, Justin. So, some would say it's not a surprise that you get the likes of Kim LaCourte winning this race because they were the favourites going into it. Just tell us about what we saw and, of course, what is being said by the organisers.
Good morning again. Yes, we've moved to the finish line where we were able to witness Kim LaCourte de Billot win her third race, her second in a row, as well as then Marc Pritzen and the rest of the men's team finishing off their particular race. But an exciting finish, different to the years before where we've actually had big bunches finish, sort of photo finishes, whereas this time around the winners breaking away. But I think more to speak about the event itself is Dave Balez, the Cape Town Cycle Tour Director. David, as always, thank you very much for your time and appreciate you hanging on. We've had wind, we've had fires, we've had extreme temperatures. This rain this morning, how tough has it been?
Well, it's gone from one extreme to the other. We had day zero in 2018 with no water. And now, as the African saying goes, we're blessed with some rain. So, look, it's been a tough morning out. The people are still streaming in, still streaming off at the start. And I think they're embracing the hand that they've been dealt. It is what it is. And I think people are going to go out and they're going to have a whole bunch of fun. But, yeah, we've been dealt some fairly unhealthy hands over the last number of years. I mean, yesterday and the day before were just two beautiful days in Cape Town. And yet suddenly here we are in the middle of summer and it's pouring with rain. But wonderful to see people on bikes, riding, people at an event, people that were at the expo during the week. So it's a great day for sport. It's lovely to see things starting to head back to with a little bit of normality. And we've had an incredible race at the front with both in the men's and the ladies' race. So I think sport being the winner today.
The conditions is always something that we'll have to deal with. Like you said, it is what it is. And I think it's fair to say that despite the weather, we've had an exciting race thus far. Any incidents along the route or anything of that nature that needs to be shared and so forth?
No, we have had a couple of incidents. They've been, obviously, with the roads as wet as they are, we've had a number of spills en route. We have had one resus on the M3 heading out of town, and the individual has been taken to hospital, resuscitated, and is in a stable condition. But other than that, I've had no reports. Obviously, we'll get the reports in through the day. And I think the important thing is the first group, or the last group at least, is only just leaving the start line in Cape Town while riders are pouring over the finish line here in Greenpoint. So it's going to be a tough day. It really is going to be a tough day. But we'll embrace it, and I see the riders are embracing it. And it's all about putting back into community.
We spoke early on in the week about the spectator side of things and how technically you're only allowed 2,000 at various spots based on an outdoor event. The weather played its part, potentially keeping people at home?
I think the weather came along today as our COVID compliance officer to make sure we didn't exceed any numbers at any point on the route. I think a lot of people are going to be watching this on the live stream on our YouTube page, Facebook. There have been people en route. There's a supporter, 87-year-old lady who sits on the Kendall Road Bridge every year, and she was out there in the pouring rain this morning in her wheelchair, cheering the cyclists on as they went down the M3 Blue Route.
Oh, it's fantastic to hear. You talk about the last groups having left now. Talk us through the cut-off time and what are they kind of working towards in order to make sure that they finish off and, not face that dreaded siren before they arrive at the finish line?
So they've got 7 hours. The last group will have 7 hours from the time it leaves the start line until the time it crosses the finish line. There are cut-offs along the route at various points. Obviously, we need to get the roads open for the citizens of Cape Town, so you need to make certain points. And we will implement those cut-offs, but the main cut-off will be 7 hours after the last start, and we have a vehicle following it. Most people will make it. The big thing for us today is we haven't had hectic wind. The rain is just uncomfortable and it's unpleasant, and we believe it's going to lift a little bit later this morning, which will make for a very pleasant afternoon riding in, and you'll dry out nicely.
David, as always, absolute pleasure chatting to you. Breno, there we go. An exciting race nonetheless, despite the rain. Cyclists enjoying themselves around the peninsula. And as the clouds lift, hopefully they can see a bit of the scenery around the route.